intros because I haven't talked to the camera for 7 weeks. Hi YouTube! I'm doing a Q&A today. I asked for some questions on my Snapchat and I actually got some responses. That was very exciting. My first question is from my student Hannah. She said, what year did you start dancing? I was on the Pom Squad in middle school starting in 2002, I think, when I was in 7th grade. So I started doing that kind of dance when I was about 13. So I did dance team for 2 years in middle school and 4 years in high school. When I graduated high school, I had a little bit of a mental breakdown because I kind of identified so much as a part of this dance team that I was on for 6 years, and I didn't have that anymore, so I ended up sending a text to my now boss, who was a total stranger and owner of the studio at the time, and I started dancing with the oldest division that there was at the time. So I was 18 and most of the kids were 15, 16, 17, even 10 years old, but I didn't really care because I just was so excited to be doing a different kind of dance. So I started the Pom Squad in 2012 and I started studio dance in 2007 when I was 18. Hannah also asked, what is your favorite type of dance? That's hard because as an educator, I know we teach all the styles because they are each individually important for their own reason. I know that's not really the question. My favorite to teach is ballet. My favorite to do myself is either tap or contemporary. I started studio dance very late and I don't have very good technique. Contemporary and modern are just a little bit more free, so I don't feel as held back with my lack of technique. Tap is just something I feel that I can still do at my age pretty well. My next question is from my student McKenna. She said, what's your favorite part about teaching dance? I love so many things about it, but I think my very favorite thing is that I get to create these visions in my head as far as choreography or the concepts of these pieces that I get to create, and then I just have all these kids who come to class every day to bring my visions to life. And they are so excited to be a part of something that's only in my head until they bring it to life for me, really. So I think that is truly my favorite part of teaching dance, is that I get to be involved in creating something that I couldn't do myself. My next question is from my student Ariana. She says, what's something you truly can't live without? How do I say this? I think I truly couldn't live without freedom of expression. I'm a very emotional person and I'm very honest, and it's hard for me to ever feel like I can't express myself fully. It makes me feel disingenuous. I hate that feeling. So I think what I truly couldn't live without are all the forms of artistic expression that I am lucky enough to have a part in. Obviously, I'm a dance teacher. Dance is a huge part of my life. I'm a photographer, and photography is a huge part of my life. I love makeup and cooking and doing hair. I love calligraphy and trying to write. I love social media and I'm very present on most of my platforms. Sometimes a little too much, but I just need the freedom to be able to express myself because I feel very untrue to myself without that opportunity. So I think the one thing I truly couldn't live without is my freedom of expression. My next question is from my student Sammy. She says, what's your favorite memory so far this year? Ooh, that's hard. A couple things stand out. One would be finding out that a couple of my friends are pregnant. Those were really exciting memories. Starting my YouTube channel was a really big one. Should this turn into something, that's gonna be a really big day and memory and anniversary in my life. I have a really bad memory, so those are the only two that I have at this time. My next set of questions are from my bestie, Alex. Who is your favorite from NSYNC? That's easy, Lance Bass. Shout out. I was in choir in high school. That's not because I was special at all. You can just be in choir. I had an okay voice, but my range isn't very far, very big, whatever. And I've always been jealous of people who could sing really low, especially females. Like, wow. Lance Bass is the bass of NSYNC, and he's just the best. She asks, Team Katie or Team Swiftie? That's easy, Team Katie. My next question is from my student McKenna. What's your favorite type of dance to watch? Anything that's clearly together and rehearsed. It is one of my favorite critiques to give and to get that my dances are easy to watch. It creates movement that's easy for your audience to enjoy. That's my favorite. So whether it's tap or contemporary or hip hop or anything, it doesn't really matter as long as it's clean. My next question is from my friend Abby. She said, what led you to photography and how did you become so good at photography? You're so sweet. Long story, kind of still long. The only family vacation we took growing up was to my grandfather's cabin up north. The cabin got hit by a tree one year and was basically destroyed and had to be rebuilt, so we couldn't go up north that year. So our family went to the Dells instead. We had a film camera at that time and it got left at one of the restaurants, we think, up in the Dells. So basically our family lost our camera. So my mom upgraded to a digital camera. It was like a little Kodak Easy Share, and I ended up taking it with me pretty much everywhere. I think I asked most of the time in the beginning, but then it was kind of just mine. Me especially, and my two friends Emily and Stacy, we referred to each other as the triangle. That's all we would do. We would get together and take pictures. That was how we hung out. I've never taken a photography class because I have personal issues with how art is graded in school, but we don't have to get into that. How I became so good is just an opinion, which obviously is very sweet and I appreciate. I just took pictures and I took them and learned how to use my less than professional gear. It's more in what you put into your photography and basically your style. It's just about developing something that you like. I'm just glad other people like it because it's really important to me. My next question is from one of my old students, Haley. She says, what or who inspires you? I could do a whole video about that, so I'm gonna try and keep it short. What inspires me? I think most would be people, for sure. How people connect with other people. I'm really inspired by music, lyrics especially. I tell people that I'm obsessed with words, which I am, which is funny because I don't have a very good vocabulary, and I think that's why I really appreciate people who speak well, mean what they say, and say what they mean. Who inspires me? A lot of people. My students inspire me every day. I don't know how they go to school and come to dance and do all the other things they do. My family inspires me because I know them personally and I know all the things that they struggle with on a day-to-day basis and that they still make the best of what they have. I think that's really special. My friends inspire me because friends are the family that we choose and I choose them and they choose me, and that is inspiring to me that I can continue to make friends at this age and find connections in people. My next question is from one of my old students, Roisin. She says, favorite dance you have choreographed or been in? Wow, that's a really hard question. My favorite dance that I have choreographed would be a class combination I did to The Remedy by Adele. It wasn't my favorite until I found out that it was special to the dancers that were in the class that I taught it to. Through the years, it has just come up a couple times that that piece was special to them and that they really loved it. It can be really hard to connect with teenagers. They're very closed off sometimes and don't feel like they have a safe place talking to adults and teachers, in my experience. So it just became a dance that was really special to me because they felt open enough to share with me that it was special to them, and that made it my favorite because it had a meaning and it was special and it was something that made me feel connected to them. And my favorite dance that I've been in would be a dance that no one's ever seen. It was a solo choreographed to Eat by Regina Spektor. It was actually an instrumental version. My friend Quinn helped me choreograph it. I had a friend die tragically several years ago, and it took me a long time to be able to listen to that song because of the connection that I felt to him when I listened to it. I was really proud of myself for getting to the point where I could even think of sharing that song with other people and performing on stage about something that meant so much to me. But of course, in true Miss Muhree fashion, a week before the recital, I was showing my boss the dance, and I did what's called Aponte, where you stand on one leg, dip your body forward, and teeter-totter, your leg goes up over your head, and I just felt my whole hamstring just and I just remember trying to walk and I couldn't feel my leg. I laid on the ground and cried for a long time. It was very dramatic, but needless to say, that dance never got performed, and I don't have a video of it even, so I can't even remember a single step because my memory is crap, and that's very upsetting to me. But my next question is from my friend Lauren. She says, how about girl, why you still single? Good ass question, I don't know. Moving on. My friend Mary says, what's your favorite book? We've talked about this before. I have started and not finished so many books because my comprehension is super poor. But more recently, I have read a book called The Night Circus, which was fantasy and really exciting to read because it's fiction, so you never are bored. And A Fine Balance by Rohinton Mystery. It was really hard to get through and really hard to understand. It's a really sad book in my opinion, but it was really good. She also says, do you have a favorite quote? It's not a quote, but my life mantra kind of is, don't say it unless you mean it. I said earlier that I'm obsessed with words. That's totally true. I value honesty above most things, and I just can't understand why people would say things if they don't have a meaning behind them. So I really try not to speak unless it means something to me. And I think that's it for questions. Thank you to everybody who sent me a question. I appreciate it. I hope you liked my Q&A. I'll see you next time. Lance Bass